Hey, what's up, Facebook? I've got a treat for you tonight. A lot of people say to me, how did you develop this mindset? How did you get to the position you were in life? I haven't been necessarily true with all of you. I haven't really spoke about it from the depths of what happened and the depths of who I was as a man and what brought me to this point in life. So to give you an overview, as a kid, I was always that kid where people would take the piss out of him. I was always at the brunt of the banter. So, when the popular kids and people who had more of a standing in society, when they wanted to choose somebody to pick on, choose somebody to dissect, choose somebody to use as their poking stick for their bit of fun, I was the guy. I was the guy that everybody looked towards. And that happened for a long time. It happened for a very, very long time until I was about 15, 16 years old. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I looked back into the eyes of the man that was starting to stare back at me. And I realised, why the fuck am I putting up with this? When I looked at the human that was looking back at me, the person that has all this energy, this fire, this spirit, this person that knows exactly what he wants in life, I decided to ask myself the question, why are you putting up with this? And I made a change in my life. I made a mental change. I decided to look at myself in a different light. I looked at myself and I thought, you're worth more than this. People are beating you down, people are walking all over you, people are making you feel like you're worthless. Why are you allowing that to be? So I started to change. I remember the very first time I went down the gym, and I know that won't relate to a lot of people, but for me, like, all of this was carved in the gym. Those hard times when you're doing exercises, you're doing reps, you're doing sessions that you just literally can't physically bear, but you go through it anyway. I was a different kind of breed, and people started to realise that, the people who took the piss out of me in the past started to look and think, where the fuck's this guy from? I started to bring a new energy to life. I started to bring this whole new side of me, this new mentality. And, I started to ask myself, what's my purpose in life? And then I realised that I didn't quite know it, but I knew something different had happened, something had changed in my mind and my mentality. And I looked at myself and I said, you don't know your purpose yet, but you know that you're worth more than this. And the more I started to go in the gym and the stronger I got and the bigger I got, people started to notice and they said, wow, where's this guy come from? It was almost like the situation where I've gone from being, the brunt of everybody's laughter, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, who's this guy? This is a new person. And then what happened from there is, when I was in the gym and people were talking about what they did on the weekend and going out and getting pissed and getting drunk, I didn't even notice those people anymore. People would look at me and they'd laugh because, I was putting myself under such a ridiculous strain, such a ridiculous, amount of pain. And yeah, for a while, I did do things ridiculously, but it gave me the insight to change who I was as a man. I wasn't in the gym wanting to socialise and talk to people about what they were doing here and there. I had my head up, I had my headphones in, I had my hood up, I had my headphones in, and I was literally going balls in. In me, it was a battlefield, it was a war ground. Everything was going off. Like, it was almost as though like hell itself had come knocking at the door, and the only way that I was going to get through this was by just giving it everything I fucking had. Like, every time I go in the gym, it's like life or death. It was either break down to my fucking knees and throw up, or I haven't trained hard enough. And it's that mentality, it's that side of life, it's that side of yourself that makes life completely different. And people won't relate to that in the sense that not everyone goes down the gym. I get that. But what I'm saying is you have to find something that helps you to break through those mental barriers. The only reason I'm here as strong as I am as a man is because I put myself through fucking hell. And nobody could tell me differently. And, the more I went through it, the more I was alone, and the more that I secluded myself from everything, I started to realise that the higher plane of things, all of the bullshit that people deal out wasn't really worth anything. It meant fuck all, it meant nothing. People took the piss, so what? Look at you. I was always considered the weak one, but behind the scenes, when nobody was looking, when nobody was there, when, I was giving everything I had to something that I believed in. I was the strongest motherfucker around. Nobody could beat me. Nobody could break that person down. I was building up this idea of myself that I was worth everything that I wanted in life. And slowly over the years, I've chiseled it down to, a more finer detail. The aggression isn't there the way it used to be, and I'm more at peace with myself. I'm calmer. I now want to help others instead of just wanting to help myself. But the point I'm making is that when people are laughing at you, people are looking at you and saying, you're a fucking idiot, you know, you're stupid, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, calling you skinny, calling you weak, you know, all these different things. It doesn't matter about what happens on face value. It matters about what you're doing behind the scenes. You know, when nobody's there, when you're alone and nobody fucking gets your journey, nobody understands why you're doing it, because then years down the line, when you finally reveal yourself, you know, you come out of the woodwork and you're like, hey, motherfucker, I'm stood here. You know, now what? That's when people come back. You know, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that started asking me about, well, what are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? And then all of these people that, you know, originally took the piss out of what you wanted to do, took the piss out of who you are as a person. All these people come back and want to know how you got there. Well, motherfucker, you were one of the reasons how I got there. You know, you built me into this. You created this. You know, all of the doubt, all of the hatred, all of the misery that people put me through. That was what created this side of me. You know, and now after all of the shit, all of the suffering that I had to go through, now I realise that people truly, when they're doing those things, they're crying out for help. They're crying out because they're so desperate to want to be something in front of fake people, in front of people that don't even fucking know themselves, that they rip you down to the fucking ground. You know, those are the people that are shredding you apart because they don't know who the fuck they are. That's when you've got to sit back and say, I know who I fucking am. And you can say what you like. You're just giving me fuel. You're building the fire. You're building me up. You're creating something that you don't even fucking know. And you know, it's through that side, you know, through that experience, through that consistent day-to-day like grind and effort, came something that you can never break down. I'll have good days and bad days, but you fucking know that I will never give up. I will never stop. I will never succeed to failure. I will never allow failure to get into my life and stay there. Failure is a lesson. Failure is not the controller of my future. And when I say to people, if you don't know what your fucking passion is, if you don't know where you want to be in life, if you don't know what you want out of life, if you're confused and lost and you feel like you don't even know yourself and you're looking in the mirror and you don't even know the fucking person that's looking back, my fucking advice to you is take yourself out, away from everything, away from the world, away from the things that you think that are destroying you, away from the things that you're trying to ask yourself, why are people doing this to me? They're doing it because you're a reflection of what they want to fucking be themselves. And if you live another moment of your life in misery because of what they're saying and what they're doing to you, you're giving them the fucking power. And you know what? You're not even fucking helping them. If you live your life in misery and you don't achieve exactly what you want to, you're not helping them, and you have a fucking right, you have a duty, and you have an honour to do that. I believe that. You have a fucking duty, a care to the people that destroy your life. Because secretly, deep down, rooted in the soul of who they are, in their pure being, they're crying out for help. It's just that their way of doing things isn't the right way. You need to show them the right way of doing things. Channel that aggression, channel that anger, channel that negative side into something positive. It doesn't have to be in the gym. That's my example because that's where it comes from my heart. You know, it could be anything, art, it could be sprinting, it could be, you know, running, whatever you have to do, whatever is in your heart, acting, anything, music, whatever it is, you literally have to channel that into your life and make it a reality. You know, and no one's going to do it for you. See it yourself. Stop looking at life and thinking that it's this big dark hole, because it isn't. Every morning that you wake up, or every single time that you wake up and you see the fucking sun in the sky, that is a reason to do something about your life, because it's beautiful, and it always fucking will be. So, whoever's going out tonight, have a good night. You know, take care of yourselves, and check out the video tomorrow. Thanks for watching.